Hello there. What is going on, everyone? May the 4th is just around the corner. It's this week, and we are in for a lot of really cool news. We're going to talk about all of the stuff that is likely coming down the chain. If you're a Star Wars fan, if you're a Star Wars tabletop gaming fan, this is going to be a fun video for you. So we're going to talk about what we expect to see and what you can kind of plan your schedule around. And of course, if you can't, you can always stay tuned here to the channel because I'll be bringing to you all the coolest news as that applies to Star Wars and Star Wars tabletop gaming. Also, we are doing a massive giveaway right now. So if you haven't already, make sure you're entered to win that Star Wars Shatterpoint core set in the form of a $165 Amazon gift card. All you have to do to enter to win that is to be a subscriber and to leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. I'd love to hear some of your favorite things that you're expecting to see. What do you really want to see for May the 4th? Or what have been some of your favorite May the 4th announcements? Everything tends to get dropped on May the 4th, whether it's merchandising like new apparel, new Hasbro. I'm sure there's gonna be new Black Series figures and new masks and lightsabers and stuff like that. New tabletop gaming expansions, maybe new video game expansions, new movie trailers, all kinds of cool stuff like that. Also want to thank today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Amazing full metal tokens, and they are fully compatible with Star Wars Legion. They also have tokens compatible with games like Star Wars X-Wing or Magic the Gathering. Really great tokens. Head over to luxuryplaystyle.com, check them out. These tokens are awesome. They're full metal, they're double-sided. They're absolutely gorgeous. They just shine beautifully on your tabletop. They're going to make you really want to play your games that much more, and they're going to impress your opponents as well. Very gorgeous stuff. You're going to love these. Use code Crabbok VIP to save 15% while you're over there. So head over to luxuryplaystyle.com and check them out. All right, so back at Adepticon, Atomic Mass Games gave us a lot of really cool previews. Every one of their Star Wars games had some big news. Actually, all of their games, even Marvel Crisis Protocol, had a ton of news. And they were also very important to tell us that this is not the end, that May the 4th is coming, and there would be more things coming on May the 4th. But not only May the 4th, also May the 5th and May the 6th. By the way, while I have your attention, May the 4th be with you, is what we say on May the 4th. And I know that there's people that get May the 5th wrong, because the 5th is Cinco de Mayo, okay? The 6th of May is Revenge of the 6th. There are some people that like to use the Revenge of the 6th kind of nomenclature and apply that to the 5th. It doesn't work. It's not cool. It is not supported on this channel. The 5th is Cinco de Mayo. Let's let us Americans or whoever follows Cinco de Mayo have our, margarita excuse to have, tacos and margaritas. It's always been its own thing. And to be honest, Revenge of the 6th sounds way closer to Revenge of the Sith than Revenge of the 5th does, because you have to change 2 letters. It doesn't even sound right. Revenge of the 5th is not even a thing. So anyway, it's May the 4th be with you, Cinco de Mayo, and Revenge of the 6th. But the reason I talk about those 3 days, Atomic Mass Games has special stuff lined up. They said at Adepticon they were going to be doing a big event for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Whether it's going to be like another mini extravaganza or just a series of reveals. I think at this point it's probably going to be a series of reveals. So what can we expect from that? Well, we've got a lot of stuff from most of the other games. Let's talk about, first off, let's talk about Shatterpoint. Shatterpoint's coming out very soon. Shatterpoint is coming out in June, early June. That's when also the giveaway is going to be announced after that, basically that first week of June, after the Shatterpoint core set is available, then we'll be announcing the winner. I do announce winners towards the end of the videos, so make sure you stay tuned and watch all the way to the end. But they've announced so much with Shatterpoint already. Lots more expansions, lots of different Jedi and different characters from the Clone Wars. Mace Windu, but very cool stuff. We got to see a lot of stuff. Different eras we went into. Also, we got to see Darth Vader. We got to see Luke Skywalker, Lando Calrissian, R2-D2 serving drinks. I loved it. It was great. Leia in her Boosh disguise. Freaking awesome. we got to see the characters from Kenobi, right? We've got the Inquisitors. They look super cool. I do expect we'll see like a Ben Kenobi. That's one of the things I think they're going to show us. I think they're going to show us some more stuff from some of the existing properties they've already been working on. We also got to see the Mandalorian and Grogu, but we didn't get to see any other characters that might come with them, like at least a 4-pack. So I think we'll see certain other characters from maybe early Mando, because they said that was one of the first things they started working on. Like their proof of concept was the Mandalorian. So I think you're going to see possibly other Mandalorians, like maybe the Armorer. You might see other fighters who are in there, like Grief Karga or Cara Dune. You might see certain other characters, from other seasons. I definitely expect them also to do a Moff Gideon expansion and Dark Troopers. I think that'll probably be coming too. Won't be surprised to see that. They've teased Ewoks already for Shatterpoint. Obviously, we're going to get a lot of that for Legion. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I think we might get a little bit more look at Ewoks for Shatterpoint. Biggest thing, I think, for all of the Shatterpoint stuff. And they teased quite a bit, like Padme and Handmaidens and stuff like that. But they also teased the Ghost Crew. So the entire Ghost Crew. So that's super exciting, and I can't wait. Now I think that one was definitely farther out, but they have definitely teased quite a bit, and I love it. I think one of the big ones that they're going to be giving us is definitely some more stuff from Kenobi. I won't be surprised to see some of the supporting characters from Kenobi. I do also think that we're going to possibly see some more stuff from the Clone Wars. I think they're going to give us some more of the characters that we haven't seen yet. There's I want to see Ayla Secura. I want to see they've shown us Plo Koon. I want to see Yoda. I think that's going to be a good opportunity for them to show us Yoda. There's also been people talking about wanting to see other eras outside of. Like right now it's just Galactic Civil War and Clone Wars. I wonder if they'll give us a hint on even more future eras that they may be working on. Like I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel trilogy era, or possibly even going back to like the Old Republic. And I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't super keen on sequel trilogy stuff, and I think and I get that, but I think if you look at Shatterpoint, this is the perfect way to do it. It's hard to do balanced factions, like to do sequel trilogy stuff in Legion, the way Legion has been, because that might mean another core set, and then you have to have the First Order versus the Resistance. And how are you going to build a whole Legion army with Resistance? It's going to be kind of tough. There's very few. Like the Resistance was super small, and it works. I think Resistance works best for X-Wing. And I mean, possibly Armada. I feel like you could do it for X-Wing or Armada. But for Legion, you just don't see a whole lot of conventional warfare. Like in Episode 8, you had a little bit of these ground things, but there's really very little for them to do for the Resistance for Legion. And the First Order, on the other hand, has plenty. So you could totally do the First Order, but typically you do factions versus factions. You're not going to just be like, oh, well, here's the First Order, but we're not doing Resistance. So it'd be tough. But what you can totally do is you can do these factions in Shatterpoint, because you only need you can do just heroes. You don't necessarily need to have generic troopers, but you can have a few generic troopers. You don't have to have armies and armies and armies of generic troopers, but you can have a few Joes, so to speak. It totally works. So I definitely think they could potentially tease a sequel trilogy here. Phasma and Kylo Ren sound like they would work really well. There's plenty of different First Order troopers you could do. You can do those flame troopers. You can do the flying troopers. So you have a lot of room in there to be able to do stuff without having to flush out a massively full faction. You got lots of heroes on the Resistance side, so you definitely can do a different Chewbacca. You can do a Resistance Chewbacca, which could be different than a Rebel Chewbacca. By the way, we did see Han Solo, but we didn't see Chewbacca yet, so I do think that we'll see him. We might see some other characters from like Solo: A Star Wars Story. I think you could possibly see like a Dryden Voss or a Kira. There's a lot of that. So I think they're going to do a lot more Shatterpoint. And I'd love to see it. I'd also love to see them go back to the High Republic, too. If you guys have been reading that book, +1, let me know if you guys have been reading High Republic at all, what your thoughts are on that. If so, though, I just hope they don't do Geode. Definitely don't want Geode. But that's my own personal bias. Let's move to Star Wars Legion, because they are also probably going to have a big Ewok drop for Star Wars Legion. There's been very, very, very little of the Ewoks. Like, they've been talking about them a little bit at a time, little bit at a time, little bit at a time. There was a recent promo. We just got, you know, like a little bit of a look of a promo version of one of the Ewok cards. But they've been like holding out on Ewoks for a while, and they're finally getting closer. I think it's going to be our first like big preview of Ewoks on May the 4th, maybe not just May the 4th, maybe more the 4th, maybe the 5th, maybe the 6th. I think each of those days we're going to see a big Star Wars announcement, which I think is super exciting. On top of that, we could get a few other things. We did get a lot of stuff teased recently for Legion. I think we're also overdue for a points balance and maybe kind of a pass at everything and look at kind of rebalancing points. It'd be nice to see if they mention any of that stuff coming too, because I think a lot of Legion players would definitely like to see a few things kind of tweaked and tuned just a little bit. Let's move on to X-Wing. X-Wing has a lot of stuff announced, as far as you know, a lot of reprints, and then they have new. Of course, like all the games have the new store kits, the tournament kits that are coming. There's also new core sets. We might get you know, a closer look at some more of the quick builds that are coming in the core sets. The new core sets are weird because they don't have generic pilots anymore, so they're really trying to change the face of X-Wing into like only aces. It's like ace combat only. There are like generics are almost illegal, you know, which is like, you know, it's weird. It's weird. But they're definitely trying to change that up. We might get a look at more of the new standard loadouts that are coming with X-Wing, or even more of the new card pack that they were talking about too. That we got kind of a little bit of a preview, kind of a light preview of that, which could be very interesting. Star Wars Armada. I don't expect a whole lot on Star Wars Armada. That being like my favorite game of all time, it's kind of in last place as far as the attention and the amount of new content that it's getting. But we did just get rapid reinforcements too. I would love if they would talk about Armada a little bit, because I really, the community really needs some answers to rapid reinforcements too, because a lot of the cards are written to where we don't know how they were supposed to work. They're, you know, like they're rules that don't make sense, and you know, just things that just don't add up. I'm like, or does this mean we can Anakin triple tap? Can Anakin double salvo the way he's written? Maybe he can. It's unclear. You know, there's no, you know, what about matchstick and you know, the hyperspace rings? Can he go in there? He doesn't have rogue, but he gives himself rogue, but he doesn't have rogue. And does he give himself rogue before he's even in the game? If not, then he can go in there. But then as soon as then everybody has rogue, and that defeats the whole purpose of hyperspace rings. And, you know, is that how it's supposed to be, or did that slip through the cracks? You know, how does tokens and Draven work? You know, like all things like that. But I think one of the biggest things Armada needs right now is a points adjustment. I feel like with rapid reinforcements too, it's become a very much rock, scissors, paper game. You know, rock being like Anakin, scissors being, you know, well, hold on, let's see. Draven fleets beats Sloane. Sloane beats Anakin. Anakin beats Draven. Right. So it's like a rock, scissors, paper. You have to run like one of those three fleets now. Or something like that. It doesn't have to be that, but like they've really brought out like seriously hard counters to certain things, and it's I feel like it's too much, and it's really going to end up changing Armada drastically. So we really need a points adjustment, and you know, it'd be pretty interesting if they would do that, or maybe they'll have some other news too. It's gonna be pretty wild. I also expect that we might get some new trailers. I'm down for another Ahsoka trailer. I'm down for a little more, or a Skeleton Crew trailer. I wouldn't mind seeing one of those. You know, there was more trailers that they did show at Celebration that weren't shown to the general public. There's stuff that's been kind of sort of described. The Acolyte, you know, had a lot of hype over that trailer. Parts of it leaked online, but like only like the first half of it kind of leaked, and some people had to kind of describe the rest. It was very strange, but I'm excited about all of that. Ahsoka, Comes out in August, and it's going to basically be Heir to the Empire, which does give me hope for games like Star Wars Armada, which Grand Admiral Thrawn is the big Thanos level villain. Hopefully they don't make him too much of a villain, because he's way more complex than that. He's more of a hero in my book, but yeah, oh man, it's going to be so cool. So hopefully we get some more cool reveals related to Ahsoka, the direction of going towards Heir to the Empire here on May the 4th. It's going to be pretty exciting. But as far as the gaming stuff goes, I'm also excited about that, because there's supposed to be more games. There's supposed to be another open world game coming. There was also this other game last year that was announced and has kind of sort of disappeared, because I guess one of the guys who was working on it had some bad history or whatever, and they, I don't know. I really kind of stayed away from it, but since all this backlash happened, because one of the guys that was in charge of this game, like, the whole game disappeared, and you haven't heard anything about it. And I wonder if we're going to finally hear something about that, like, did they maybe replace the guy and make it okay with the community, or are they going to just try and be like, oh, it's coming soon, and see if people forgot? I have no idea what's going to happen with that. It's very interesting. But lots of new Star Wars content coming out. Probably some new book-related information. High Republic's been having great books. Really love to see some more Thrawn-related books too. I really look forward to a Timothy Zahn announcement. It's like, I've been tasked to write a new trilogy of Thrawn books, and these will take place after the Ahsoka. Something. I'm looking for some kind of confirmation that they're not going to kill off Thrawn too quickly once we finally get him in live action. I'm only going to be heartbroken if they give us Thrawn only to kill him right away. I don't want them to do that, and they sometimes do that stuff. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Just wanted to talk. We're going to have more stuff this week, so stay tuned. I'll be bringing you guys the latest and greatest as it becomes available. I will talk to you later. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing, and you help make this channel continue to run, so thank you for that. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. So say we all. This is the way. Go on. Get your stuff and blingles and flangles and whoozles and quipstackles and quangdoodles.